Let's talk about how to use the vertical layout to set up for a very productive week. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I want to talk about using the vertical planner layout to set up for a really productive week. We're going to decorate a layout, and then I'm going to share my top tips for organizing your schedule and tasks and focus and habits, all of that. So I thought I would bring you guys along and we can talk a little productivity. I have pulled out Live Love Posh. This is that neutral edit set. These sticker books are available individually as well. So I've pulled these out. We'll see what I end up using from them. Of course, the vertical layout that I am using is from my planner shop over at ScrappyWife.com. So you can find that. Otherwise, I'm going to put you all on fast forward. Let's go. All right, setting up for a productive week actually starts with picking your theme. So you want to pick a theme that is going to inspire and energize you. For some people, that means bright, bold colors, lots and lots of stickers. For some, they need it a little calmer because they really want the focus on the tasks and the to-dos that are on the layout right here. For me, it kind of switches back and forth. This time around, I am going to go with neutral elements. I believe we're going to find some beautiful stickers in here that are a little bit calming, that will help me bring a little focus to my week. And I'm really excited to kind of dig into that. It's a mix of decorative stickers and functional. For me, a planner spread that is blank with just function can feel very off-putting. It's not a spread I want to look at. And in the end, you're going to be the most productive when you are engaged with your planner on a regular basis. It's not just about setting it up at the beginning of the week and hoping for the best, but a planner spread that you check in with more often is going to be a planner spread that helps keep you on track. So that's what we're going to focus on, creating a spread that we are excited to open up to in our planners. And along the way, we're going to add some productivity. So I'm going to start out by putting down a few decorative stickers as we start that. Then we'll start adding a little function and we'll talk about how to get this set up. Let's go. So I get the question all the time about, do I start with functional stickers or do I start with decorative stickers? And many people pose it as, yes, but what if you actually have to use your planner? And I totally relate to that because I definitely use my planner, yet I still enjoy decorative stickers. And here's the pattern I generally go through is that I put a few decorative stickers down on the page. I don't do them all at once. I start with a few that are almost creating a background kind of feel for the page, setting the tone ever so slightly. I might be putting down a little bit of washi tape on the borders. I'm not doing huge decorative scenes right at first because I need to keep in mind where my schedule is going to go, where my tasks are going to go. I have to keep all track of all of that and I have to think through it in advance, almost like pre-planning, but in my head. I just need zones or areas where things are going to be. I don't need to know exactly what type of box I'm going to put each and every place, but I need to have an idea. And sometimes just putting a few decorative stickers down starts to narrow down those zones and gives me some framework to work with as I start doing what I would call the productive part of my planning. So I am using neutral elements. I love this beautiful scene right here. It is very calming. This is for a week that is coming after a very, very, very busy week for me and my family. And so I thought the calming might help me be more productive. It feels like every week is busy these days just because of kids' activities, prepping for moving. It's a lot of things at all times. So I need this to be productive, but let's give us a little Zen moment. I don't necessarily need the boost in energy. I need the calming feel. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm setting up this little scene. I always like to have the windows be up high. We're grounding the spread with the florals down below. I will be layering some functional stickers on top of these clear stickers. So this is not taking up a ton of writing room. These are forming a background layer to start building upon next. Okay, so let's start to structure this week some, and I want to show you how the vertical layout is really fitting or works really well for this purpose. So there's three different blocks. You can use this in a variety of different ways. Some people like to think morning, afternoon, evening. Some people like to divide up kind of three parts of their lives. Maybe you're tracking schedule, tasks, and fitness. I like to think of it in this way, using the top section for your priorities or focus. So it's at the top. It's the first thing you're going to encounter. These are the priorities for the week. That looks different. There might be priority goals that you are setting for each day. It might be where your schedule is because that's your priority. You have to know what is happening each day. That is a priority section. They say real estate, like location, location, location. That's the same thing on your planner layout. Where you are locating your priorities is really important. You want to give it kind of the top billing. So that top section used for priorities, that's going to be really important. The middle section, this is where I like to do the tasks. This is the different tasks that are going to get laid out during the week that need to get done on various days. It can also be a great place to do time blocking. So maybe you're setting priorities up here. Time blocking does not have to look like your typical hourly layout with all the hours of the day. This might be where you say, hey, from 12 to 2, I'm working on this particular project, and you're just kind of spacing out certain things that need to happen in your week depending on your priorities. So that's how you're filling it out as well. Priorities up here, down here, this is tasks, to-dos, perhaps some time blocking. And then down here at the bottom, that is where you are going to be tracking some of your different habits. You might be taking notes. You're going to do habit tracking down here. This is kind of the lower section. So if you think about moving from top to bottom as organized by the prioritization of what needs to happen, priorities, tasks, and then this is habit tracking, gratitude, things like that. It will help you organize what's on your spread and make it more productive. That is more helpful for a lot of people than, just putting anything wherever. Having it in an organized manner helps you get things onto paper easily and helps you see things on your page pretty easily. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to move forward, start putting some functional stickers on this layout and show you what I'm meaning by organizing it in this way. So this is going to be where that functionally neutral book comes in very handy. I'm going to start with the days of the week at the top. Even though this is functional, it's actually going to end up being a little decorative touch, just changing up the colors of the days of the week at the top. And then I will start working with those three sections we talked about. And even though I said start with the top, I know what's going to go in the top. That's going to be priorities, which for me is going to be the schedule for the day. I need to know what's happening each and every day. So I'm going to add that in, but I know that the middle section is where I like to do the daily to-dos. You can certainly organize your tasks in several different ways across your spread. Maybe you need one long running to-do list over in the left-hand sidebar. That might be how your brain thinks. Some people, it totally works to have tasks at different points in different days, maybe depending on how or when you plan to complete those tasks. For me, it makes very logical sense to have all of the task areas lined up in the middle. Now, whether you choose to use the bullet points or a checklist, that's kind of up to you and how many general tasks you have in a day. I like to go with 5. 5 works well for me. This is going to be a compromise because on some days I have 6 spots. On some days I will have 3 spots because I'm going to use a mix of the bullet points and the checklists. Another thing to consider with these different task lists or with these time blocking sections is perhaps the task list isn't for that day. For productivity purposes, maybe you are grouping your task lists by category. For instance, maybe you have one list that's all about things that need to be done at your home that week, different chores that need to be done. Maybe you have one list that pertains to some birthday party prep that you need to undertake. Maybe you have one list that is for errands that need to be run. You might group it in that way because it makes more sense to categorize that. For me, I like to divide it up by day. This needs to be done this way. This thing needs to be done on this day. But depending on what you're organizing, you might have your work planner and your catch-all planner all in one. And so it might make sense to have a work task list and a home task list. Think through what works in your head. That's the thing about productivity, is that all of our brains function a little bit differently. There is rarely going to be a one size fits all. So try a strategy. Try one strategy, try it for at least a couple weeks, if not a whole month. See how it flows with you. If it flows, you want to keep it, awesome. Then you might add in something additional. If it doesn't work with you, if it confuses your brain in the mornings, then that's not the one for you. Like, scrap it and then try something different the next time around. So giving these things a try, that's the best way to figure out what is going to work with how your life flows and how your brain likes to think through the week. All right, so you have seen me setting up some boxes at the top for schedules, and it's very subtle because it's, neutral colors, but color coding is your friend for productivity. Whether it is like me, you're color coding for each child has a different color in this spread that will represent their activity, so I can see who needs to get where. And it's just, I don't have to write Madeline track. I just know that the pink is Maddie, and that makes sense in my head. So it's like a trigger for productivity, so I can figure out where all the children are supposed to be when. It might be for different people in your family. It might be for certain categories of things. So maybe work is one color and home is one color. Maybe your fitness routine is a different color. Whatever the case may be, color coding is your friend. Now in this bottom section, this is where I'm creating some habit trackers. I took my little checklist and I turned them on their side. It gives me 6 spots to check off on this particular week for things that need to get done. I am really honest with myself, and when I say that I want to move my body each day, I want to work out, well, that may or may not actually happen, but 6 out of 7 days, that would be pretty darn good. Whatever habits you're trying to track, having a place on your spread to do that can be very, very motivating as you're interacting with your spread each week. And when you do it, that means you're opening up your planner and you're checking it off, and therefore seeing your schedule, seeing your task list. Like I said, the more you are engaged with your planner, the more productive you are going to be. Tracking that progress through habit trackers really adds up. It's wonderful to celebrate, even if it's just with a little check mark, with a little gold star in your planner. That is motivating for most people, and it gets you to want to do that activity, that habit again the next day. Now on the left-hand sidebar, I added another section where I could put my priorities for the week, things I want to focus on, the biggest events of the week, and then that important thing, that's going to be where my meal planning is. It just makes sense for me to have a section for meal planning in my planner so that we are much more likely to actually eat in instead of go out during those busy times. All right, once all the productivity elements are on there, all those functional elements, then I can go through, and this is kind of my second pass at decorative elements. Where can I find spots to tuck in some more decorative stickers, just to bring a little extra happiness and joy? And then of course I need to add the dates, and this spread will be done. So let's just recap the main productivity tips. It starts with choosing a theme and a layout that is really going to inspire you for the week. I happen to think the vertical layout very, very functional and great for organizing your life. Step 2 is structuring your week, figuring out what is going to go in each section and what makes sense for you. And then adding those productivity boosting elements, checklists, bullet points, time blocking, habit trackers, all the things. So I hope this helped inspire you to not just decorate your planner spread, but really set it up for success. I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. What is your number 1 tip for staying productive in your planner and in your life? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. I have supplies linked down below. Do not forget, I have a coupon code for Live Love Posh, where these stickers came from, that you can use on your next order. And all of these inserts and many more are available over at ScrappyWife.com. All right. I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.